What's up, guys? This is Ness here. I just wanted to make a video to talk about a couple of things. Mainly about Zelda. Um, I'm a big Zelda fan. I go way back, not as far as the NES. I mean, I played the NES Zeldas, but I wasn't into them right off the bat. It took a while. I played the first Zelda, Legend of Zelda. I never owned it, but I did own Legend of Zelda 2, Adventures of Link, and it was so hard. I mean, especially when you're a kid, that game is brutal. I mean, I can play it now and beat it, but back then it was brutal. I just never got into it. I could never get far. I was like, whatever. But it was when I got the Super Nintendo and A Link to the Past is where it truly shined for me. That's when I truly became a Zelda fan. I'm like, this is awesome. This game is amazing. Like I say, all games are not perfect. Every game has its flaws, but let me tell you, between Super Mario World and A Link to the Past, those are pretty much perfect games. I really cannot find anything wrong with them. I try to critique it, and I just look at every area of the game, those two games, and I cannot find anything wrong with it. So they're pretty much perfect games. Um, I beat A Link to the Past so many times when I was a kid. Such a fantastic game. It's my favorite Legend of Zelda. But it begs the question. I've played every single Zelda game that has ever come out, minus the CDI games, but we don't talk about that. Disasters. But I've beaten every single Zelda. Huge Zelda fan. But when I got my hands on Skyward Sword, I just I don't think I'm alone in this. I've seen a few people talk about it, but just when it first came out, I think everybody was like in the honeymoon period, to be honest. I mean, yeah, I enjoyed some of it, but I didn't enjoy all of it, and it was really a disappointment to me. Um, so this is what the video is about. I wanted to talk about Skyward Sword. I just, people say Ocarina of Time is overrated, and that may be true. It kind of is. I mean, you get to a certain point when you beat it enough times, it's an easy game. I mean, it really is. I mean, it's still great if you don't think about the overratedness, but it is kind of overrated because that seems to be what everyone talks about. I mean, I love Ocarina of Time, but it is a tad overrated. It's a tad bit overrated. Um, you know, Majora's Mask. Not a lot of people talk about that. People talk about it and they love it, but not as much as Ocarina of Time. I understand that Ocarina of Time was the first 3D Zelda, and that's a big deal. But Majora's Mask perfected it. I mean, not pacing story wise. I mean, Majora's Mask is a gigantic side quest, but it was fun. It was more challenging than Ocarina of Time, and that's what I like about it. It's more up to my speed. It's got that challenge. Um, the puzzles, the dungeons are bigger. I mean, sure, there's only 4 dungeons, but they made them bigger to give you more content for that. A lot bigger, a lot more confusing, so it's harder to learn. I just liked it. Majora's Mask is awesome, despite what people say about it. If they say it's bad, it's awesome. At first, when I played Majora's Mask, I was like those people where I was like, this is not that great, but you gotta give it time. You gotta play it a couple of times through. You gotta once you learn it and the story and like the feeling, the despair. It's such a great thing. Um, but never mind that. We're here to talk about Skyward Sword. This was my main concern. I just felt something was wrong with the game. Now I'm gonna get into that in a bit. I'm gonna tell you what I don't like about the game. But like when it first came out, and even for a long like weeks after it came out, people were praising it, the shit out of it, saying it's the best Zelda ever made. Really, you're only saying that because it's new and it just came out, and it's you know it's a fresh thing for you, you know. But as soon as the game starts, it it holds your hand in a way that has never been held before. It's even worse. I mean, older Zelda games, they kind of hold your hand a little bit in the beginning. It's a bit slow, but that's the 3D ones, not the 2D ones, just the 3D ones. Like, so it's a bit slow. But in this game, it's ridiculously slow. It's just it gets to a point where it's just I couldn't stand it. Take that, combine it with the atmosphere of the game. Flying a bird is kind of weird to me. I mean, especially when you're in the overworld flying around, it's a small overworld. There's nothing to do out there. It's bland as hell. I mean, say what you want about it, but that's just how I felt about it. I would rather sail the seas in Wind Waker than fly that damn bird in Skyward Sword. Just the way they presented the game, like, you know, Zelda and Link lovey-dovey stuff. I mean, that's everywhere. There's fanfics, whatever is out there. I mean, but you know, of course I like Zelda and Link together. That's fine. But the thing is, they just show it like they just throw it in your face, and I don't know. I just didn't like that. I liked the hidden relationship because in every Zelda game, there's no relationship that like that. They don't show it like that. It's just speculation as what you think about it, and they just throw it in your face in Skyward Sword. You know, she's all up in your face. You know, the fan service. I mean, it doesn't work with me. I can enjoy fan service, but when it comes to Link and Zelda, like that just killed it for me for some reason. I just didn't like it. I liked the hidden relationship and not showing it as opposed to just putting it in your face. You need to care about Zelda because you love her. You're supposed to love Zelda. Now care about her. Oh no, she gets kidnapped. You never see her again. Oh, you just missed her. You're in the damn dungeon. You missed her again. Just no. And the Disney-esque feel that they were going for, I'm not sure if that's what they were going for, but that's what I felt during the whole adventure. It's like a Disney movie. Get get the Disney out of my Zelda. I just did not like that feeling at all. And Groose. Oh, people love Groose. I don't know why. I don't know. I don't understand it. Groose is such an ugly, stupid character, and people love him. I don't understand it. The Legend of Groose. Just get the fuck out of here, dude. Oh my god, it just kills me inside. And then, you know, and then Garahim. He's fucking David Bowie. He's a David Bowie demon. And he's not cool. He looks retarded. And the structure of the dungeons, like there's a boss. It's funny because it's like your first boss in a dungeon is a Garahim, then the next dungeon that's a boss, and then they just randomly put Garahim in another dungeon. It's weird to me. I don't. It's stupid, you know. And then like, what else? I mean, there's a couple of things. I mean, what made Zelda great, like the 3D Zeldas, is ever since Ocarina of Time, which is the first 3D Zelda, right? They've always had day to night transitions, and it was a staple in the 3D Zeldas, and it made it amazing. The seamlessly changing to making you engulfed in the world. You really felt like you were in that world. They took it out. Granted, you can go to sleep in a bed, and then it changes night to day and day to night. It's lame. I don't know. I like my transition real time. It makes it so much cooler. In sleeping in a bed, that coolness is gone. And also when you're in Skyloft, you can't go flying as a bird at nighttime. It's stupid. I What if I want to go and fly around at nighttime to see the beautiful stars or whatever, just to see a different change, a pace? You can't do that. It's only You can only fly in the day. It's just small things in Skyward Sword, the small things that ruin the whole thing for me. And I haven't even got to the cream of the crop. Oh, I have not gotten there. That's the worst offender of Skyward Sword. And then you got stuff like, the gameplay is okay. I mean, it is one-to-one sword play, which is pretty cool, but it gets old pretty quick. I mean, they say it's challenging because each enemy you fight is a puzzle. It's not a puzzle. You can just flick your wrists. You can flick when you turn it, and once you see the opening, you can just flick. It's not one to one. I mean, well, it's one to one, but it's not a puzzle like they thinking it is. It's like, oh, this is the hardest Zelda. It's actually an easy game once you know what to do. It's not hard. Um, what else can I say about it that bugs me? I don't want to get to the main thing that bothers me. Um, there's so many like oh also here's another one that I don't like. They wanted to make the whole entire game a dungeon. I didn't like this because you don't have room to breathe. You know what I mean? I like being able to roam around in an overworld, and you get a puzzle here, like you blow up a wall, or there's little puzzles here and there, but they made the whole below Skyloft a dungeon. Like you go in the first area, the foreign woods, the whole thing's a dungeon. So when you actually get to the dungeon, it defeats the purpose of it being a dungeon. It it's ridiculous. And the fact that they made the bottom worlds huge as hell, and you get confused, like in the foreign woods, for example. I got lost because everything looks the same, and it's so big and it's so cluttered that like you just can't figure out where you're going. It's ridiculous. There's so many ways up, down, around. You gotta wrap around this way. There's like so many freaking ways, and it's all a puzzle that it gets annoying. It defeats the purpose of the dungeon later. I like to be able to know I'm in an overworld. I can do things in that overworld. That's overworldy, whatever. And then when I get to the dungeon, I go, okay, I put my dungeon face on. I have my dungeon. And I can, okay, we got to get some keys and puzzles and figure things out. I just like that pacing. I don't like the pacing that they chose for Skyward Sword where everything's a dungeon. To me, it defeats the purpose. Um, the dungeon, that's another thing. There's only a couple of dungeons. And there's a point in the game where you have to go back in the same dungeon, foreign woods. You go back in the same dungeon, and they change it around a little bit. To me, that's lame. It's lame. I don't like that. I want each dungeon to be a new dungeon. Um, that's another disappointment. Just the disappointments just kept snowballing, and I was like, I was still having fun with the game because it's Zelda. It's a new thing and it's new stuff to explore or whatever. But it just every time I was going to a new thing, I was getting hit with disappointment after disappointment, and it kind of just in the end, by end game, it ruined the whole experience for me. Um, and then let's okay, let's talk about. I can't really think about anything else. I think that's about it. I mean, the small things. I mean, you could say, what is it, when you collect the soul pieces, when you go into, how the world gets all like a different color, and you have to collect those tears or whatever, the pieces of your soul. Kind of like in Twilight Princess when you kill the bugs and you collect the light things. I enjoyed that in Twilight Princess. I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it at all. Um, but in Skyward Sword, it they made it more annoying than it should have been. And I mean, I did like the Guardians, and if if you fuck up or if they come after you and the music gets all intense and scary, that was pretty cool. But that's about it. I didn't really enjoy doing those sections like I did in Twilight Princess. Um, God, man, this like it just blows my mind. And everyone's like, "This is the best Zelda ever made, number one Zelda." It's like, no, it's not. Not to me. This Zelda's the worst Zelda. Actually, I'd rather play Zelda 2 on the NES than play Skyward Sword. I'm being dead honest. I'd rather play any other Zelda game than Skyward Sword. I just now it's not to say that Skyward Sword didn't do things right or didn't do cool things. They did. It did. I like the fact that they put in the upgrade system, RPG elements where you can get some materials and get a new shield, a new item, existing items that you get from dungeons you can upgrade. That's pretty cool. That's new for Zelda, and I really like that. But that's really all that I can say. I mean, and there's the other thing is the music. The music, I like orchestrated music. Don't get me wrong. I love orchestrated music if it's done right. But in Skyward Sword, again, I know it seems like I'm just ripping it to pieces, but this is just how I feel. I'm not trying. I don't. It's not like I want to hate Skyward Sword. It's not like I want to hate Zelda. It's one of my favorite series, but they done goofed. They done fucked up in my eyes. You know, it's like, okay, the music, it's orchestrated. This is the first time that a Zelda game has been all orchestrated music. And to me, there's only like one or two tracks that are decent. Is this odd to you? Like, it's odd to me. Like, I can't believe it. Like, to me, all the music is mainstream orchestrated music. It just seems it's just boring to me. You know what I mean? Like, okay, here's an example of how to do orchestrated music right. Super Mario Galaxy. Every orchestrated track in that game is fucking amazing. It blows my mind. Now, if they did something with that epic tone and sound, then it would be great. But they didn't. A lot of the tracks were just mainstream to me. Just mainstream, generic stuff that you hear all the time, orchestrated music, like a movie score. I'm not gonna get into the whole games of today that only use movie scores and generic music. It's fucking annoying, but you know, basically that's in your head now. You know that. I hate it. But anyways, back on topic. Skyward Sword. The music just wasn't that great. There's a couple of tracks I liked, but there's not a lot. There's about 80% of the tracks I disliked, and about 20% or 10-20% that it was actually this is pretty good. Um, oh boy, the worst offender of Skyward Sword. Oh wait, before we get to that, I just thought of another thing that bothers me. Link. It is the worst looking Link I've ever seen in any Zelda game. For the graphics and the artwork. Okay, well the artwork's okay, but the just he looks like a monkey. His nose is all up and he's like, "Ugh," he's got the Donkey Kong lips. No. He's the derpiest looking Link that they've created yet, and it shames me because every Link that they make looks awesome, and I freaking like it. People bitch about Toon Link from Wind Waker. He's awesome. He's cute. He's got the cute face animations and everything. and he just has a cool design. I love the Wind Waker. It's a beautiful game. It looks beautiful too. People bitch about the graphics. It's amazing. It's fine with me. What they were going for. The music is amazing in Wind Waker. The game's amazing. I don't even want to hear it. Wind Waker is probably my third favorite Zelda game. But anyways, yeah, it's just he looks retarded. Um, oh, how about this one? There's a 99% chance that your batteries are low, Link. Fuck you, Nintendo. Just fuck you. Miyamoto, I love you to death. You are a big part of my childhood and a big part of the games that I love, but damn, Miyamoto, what were you thinking? What were you thinking? It's just ridiculous. Fee is one of the most annoying characters of all time. You want to say Navi's annoying? No, Navi is fine. I like Navi. Navi's fine. But then when people said she was annoying, I kind of saw it a little bit. I kind of see what they mean. But Navi was always alright to me. It's she's more the comedy annoyance as opposed to Fee is actually annoyance. Like she doesn't shut up. I don't care about her. She's just some GLaDOS robot thing that I don't care about. That's all she is. And she's like 99% this, 99% that. There's a 99% chance, there's an 8% chance that your fly is open. There's a fucking 70% chance that you have to take a dump in the bathroom. So go back to Skyloft in the toilet and take a dump, Link. No. She's annoying. She tells you to take a rest. Fuck this new shit where they tell you to take a rest. Get that shit out of my game. Your batteries are low. Just screw that crap. It destroys the experience. She is the worst, most annoying sidekick, and the one that I don't care about the most out of all the Zelda games. I can't stand her. Um, oh my god, I really hate Skyward Sword. Um, okay, now the mother. I know there's a bug in the game where if you don't get the songs in the right order, it breaks your game. Nintendo, why? I'm not sure if they fixed that. You're supposed to get them in the certain order, like with the order that you're supposed to get them in, then it's fine. I mean, that's how I did it, just because. But people want to do it a different way. But you see why there's a bug that they didn't get to because they didn't really think about that, I guess, or they didn't get that bug because they just assume and people should get it in the order that you're supposed to. But Nintendo didn't think, well, people like to do things differently. Maybe this time I want to play, I want to get this song first, or this part of the song, or I'll get this part of the song first. They didn't think of that because Nintendo wants you to do it in a structure, a linear fashion. Fuck all that shit. There's that bug. I never encountered it because I actually did it in the order, just because, it's my first time playing. I'll do it in the order. But I've heard about that, and people were pissed because it literally breaks your game. Like you'd have to start the whole game over or something. It's terrible. The thing they did with Skyward Sword is they did quantity over quality. Because there's a lot of areas in Skyward Sword where I could see quality that they didn't put in, and it's just a big game. It's too big. Okay, I would prefer if they focused on the little points of quality and made it a little shorter, as opposed to a long quest that's huge and the lands are humongous, but all these parts of the game, there's not a lot of quality. It's just I don't like that. I take quality over quantity any day. It's just ridiculous. Oh man, I don't know. Just the fact that another thing that pisses me off is like you have to what is it? This before you can get chests in the overworld, you have to activate them from the world below. Like and the dowsing thing, unnecessary. I fucking hate the dousing thing. That was a stupid thing to put in. It's pointless. Why have it? It's just an annoyance, added annoyance. The dousing thing, it just was I hated it. There is no reason they could have structured the game without it and made it a seamlessly better experience. The dousing just killed another part of the game for me. I'm sorry, I just didn't like it. And the whole thing about, yeah, the cubes, right? You do the Skyward Strike, boom, hit the cube, and there's your treasure. Oh, wait, no, it's not your treasure. It just makes the treasure available in the overworld. Then you have to go all the way up to the overworld to get your treasure. You can't just get it there. You know, find the treasure chest in the world below. You get your treasure. They make you go out of your way to get a fucking treasure, and that annoys me. You know, I don't know. Just something about the way they structured the game that really annoys me. It was just structured in a very annoying fashion. Um, but I think we'll get on to the main offender, and then we'll get on to the final part of Skyward Sword. If you haven't played the game yet, then spoilers. Not well, yeah. I'll just say there's a certain quest, but I'm after that I'm gonna talk about the final boss, and you might not want to be here for that if you haven't played it, but or if you care. But anyways, the main offender of Skyward Sword. There's a song quest, okay? There's a part in the game where one of the areas gets flooded with water, right? Now, I was playing the game, it was okay, playing through it. When I got to this part and I started doing this quest with the whole flooded area, something snapped in my mind. And I was literally just like my face was like that. I just was like, "Are you serious, game? Miyamoto?" I'm not trying to be funny. This was actually how I was acting. It's like, "Miyamoto? Are you fucking with me right now, Miyamoto? Who advised this part of the game to be made? Who accepted this? This is one of the most annoying things I've ever experienced. Not just in a Zelda game, but a video game in general. You have to swim, okay, to collect musical notes. And once you collect all of them, you get the part of the song that you need. But what do? You have to swim with the awkward motion controls underwater to collect these notes. And you think, oh, it's not that bad. It is bad. This is the part of the game where it hit me and I was like, okay, this game sucks. I really hate this game because it takes you forever to find the notes. There's so many times where you just get confused. You can't find the notes. You gotta swim back up to the water. Gotta jump on a log. Gotta do dowsing to find the direction of the notes. Gotta go back under. Can't find it. You might drown. It's just stupid. I hated it. It was something that they made to extend the game's time. I dislike when companies do that. Now, if it's done well, sure, fine. I accept it. I like it. But this wasn't done well. This was like, let's make the game even longer. Slap this on. There you go. It's longer. There's an annoyance. We kind of know it's annoying, but we kind of want to leave it in there. So we'll just leave it there. I mean, they don't know the difference. It's Zelda. They don't care. No, I fucking hated that part of the game. Now, if you know what I'm talking about, you know that it sucks. And if you think that it's great, there's something mentally wrong with you, but that's fine. But that is probably the worst thing in the game. Um, Also, I wanted to point out, let's go move on actually. There's a part in the game where you have to do a dungeon to get the so-called And when you go there, they structured the dungeon as a sliding block puzzles. So if you want to get to certain rooms, you have to slide the block this way, slide it that way, slide the block. I'm not very good at those puzzles, and that was annoying for me. I mean, I guess that part is all about preference if you like those kind of puzzles. I personally suck at those puzzles, so I didn't care for that part either. And now, this is spoilers. We're going to talk about the final boss, okay? So if you don't want to know and you want to play the game and you haven't yet, then I suggest that you leave. Or better yet, I could just, you know, cuz probably I'll end this discussion when I am done talking about it, so I won't even do a flash thing. So just leave the video, but if you don't care, the final boss is somebody, not Ganondorf, not Ganon, somebody called Demise. And he actually is supposed to be like an embodiment of darkness type of thing, and from him spawned Ganondorf or something like that. He looks like Ganondorf kind of, but he looks bigger and more jacked up in muscles. He kind of looks like a Akuma in a way, and he's got like the flaming orange hair and stuff. He kind of looks cool. Like when he came out, I was like, wow, he looks awesome. But despite him looking awesome, okay, I'm not sure if it'll pick up the mic. Despite him looking awesome, one of the most anticlimactic battles of all time. Of all time. There's only two phases, and they're short. They're short. It's not like in other Zelda games where you have phases. In other Zelda games, I mean, sure you could say there's two phases with Ocarina of Time, but they were kind of long. Kinda. I mean, in this one, it felt short to me. There's one phase that you do, and then after that, there's another phase. He doesn't even change form. It's just another phase. That's it. You know, he gets a little bit more aggressive, and there's lightning coming down and stuff. That's it. And then once that's over, it's over. There's nothing else. Like Majora's Mask, there's a couple of phases. Wind Waker, there's a lot of phases. It's like 5 phases or something, and each one is long. Well, I should say longer. It just was anticlimactic, the whole thing. And those are basically all the gripes that I could find, and that I can remember, because I haven't played Skyward Sword when it first came out. I beat the game when it first came out, and that was it. I was content with the way that it was, like the way that it sucked, and I was like, I hate this game. I don't ever want to play it again. And that's it. It's just gonna collect dust. Whatever. At least it came with the golden Wii remote with the Motion Plus. That was nice. Also, I think I just remembered I wanted to add. They had a part in the game where there's zombies. They had zombie moblins, which was cool. But here's the thing, no effort was put into the fucking enemies. You would think, they're trying to make this scary, and they look pretty creepy, and they're coming at you like, whoa, and they got their bones are hanging out of their flesh. It's fucking pretty cool. But the thing that kills it for me is the fact that they don't make sounds. There's no noise. They just come at you with silence. Just the music. And it's silence. There was an opportunity there for them to do amazing shit, to put quality in, but they didn't do that. I was wearing headphones because I wear headphones when I play games, and the only thing that I heard them do was that's it. That's the only sound that they made was I cringed immediately when I heard this, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? This is what you did, Nintendo. This is what you thought up of. That's it. You could have did some moaning zombie weird screech noise like the old Zeldas that were amazing sound effects like Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask and Wind Waker. Wind Waker has some scary shrieks of screams from creatures, and this is what you come up with for Skyward Sword? You gotta be fucking kidding me, man. I'm like, Nintendo's losing it. I don't know. Nintendo's losing their shit. But yeah, that's what I. That was a big issue I had. Was there's just no quality for certain things. It just was fucking lackluster and terrible. But anyways, guys, those are my thoughts of Skyward Sword. The reasons why I hate Skyward Sword with a passion, and people will continue to love it. I don't know why. Um, But that's all I wanted to say. I felt that I wanted to make a video about this because it's been on my mind ever since Skyward Sword was released. And people praising it, and it blows my mind that people love it. It just, there's so many problems, and there's not enough things there to like that balance out the good and the bad. There's more bad in my eyes than there's good. But usually, because like Zelda is pretty much a perfect series when it comes to quality. And when Skyward Sword fucked up like this, I was about to abandon the series because I'm a purist. That perfection is what I love about Zelda. That's what drew me to it. But I was about to abandon the Zelda series, but I want to see what they do because they're supposed to be making a 3DS Zelda game, like an entirely new one, and I want to see what that has to offer. I mean, I'll look into it before I purchase it and see if it's not another Skyward Sword. As long as they don't do what they did with Skyward Sword, I will buy another Zelda game. But we'll see what they do. But anyways, those are my thoughts on Skyward Sword. If you agree with me, then share your frustrations, share your agreements with me. If you disagree with me, share those too. Tell me why Skyward Sword is so awesome. If you disagree with me, tell me all the good things that you think Skyward Sword has done, and then tell me all the bad. I mean, if it's all good things, then I don't want to hear it because you're just a fanboy of Skyward Sword. Because there's problems there. They're quite apparent. So, yeah. Anyways, I'll see you guys later.